Hey guys, welcome to the Mining Stacker YouTube channel. Want to do a quick little review of the Goldshell KD-Lite. Alright, so just as a disclaimer, this is not a review. This is not like an official review. This is not a paid advertisement. I have no affiliation with Goldshell, DX Pool, nothing like that. I actually just purchased this right when it came out. This is just a quick little 4-month review recap of the unit. So we'll get right to it. We'll start off with the specs. The specs come in at 16.2 terahash, uses about 1,300 watts. So the big thing when this one came out is that it's advertised as a at-home ASIC, meaning one that you can actually use indoors, in your garage, etc., etc. The big appeal was its size, right? It's like a miniature version of it, and the wattage. You could actually plug it in into a 110 volt circuit and use it that way, right? Also the fans, the big thing with the big ASICs, your Bitcoin ASICs, things like that, those things are super loud. This one is actually whisper quiet. You actually really can have it indoors, have it in a spare room, leave it in there, and be good to go. For the real world though, right, I actually have it in my garage. I'm in a hot climate. So in the garage, in the summertime, wasn't working too hot. Was getting a lot of errors, a lot of things going on, and it's because of the heat. So I fixed it by just putting a big old fan in front of it, and then that actually fixed it, right? Having enough airflow was enough to do it. If you're in a cooler climate, probably not going to have that issue, but that's mainly just, if you're in a hot climate. So let's go over the profits. So initially, when this guy came out, it was doing really good. We were getting about 8 coins a day, which is not bad at all, right? But as everything grew, started going down and down and down, right? So again, you can see here, we started about 8 coins and then going down pretty much every month. It went down consecutively. There was a really big drop sometime in like August is where it just really just came super rapidly. So you could see already by towards the end of August, we are already about to hit the high fives, right? And now we come to now, we're almost exactly 4 months in, and we're in the fours, right? We're at 4.2, 4.3, which is a big difference, right? It's only been 4 months, and we're making half the coins. There was a couple big releases though, right? The KD Max came out. IB Link had their Max version come out, so that, dropped it significantly. And that's where we're at right now, right? So originally, when this guy came out, I bought it at, I think it was like 10,100, which at the time, awesome deal, right? Now though, not so much, right? The prices have dropped significantly between the crypto crash, everything else going on, new units coming out. It dropped significantly. Now it's to the point they actually just dropped the price again today. So if you buy it directly from Goldshell, it's down to actually 2,100, right? Which is a crazy drop in just 4 months. It's a quarter of what it was. Just big, 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 big. So what's the reasoning behind this? Aside from the new things, it's this guy. So the KA3 was announced, and pretty much as soon as that thing was announced, all the prices of everything else tanked because it's just so much more efficient. I mean, this thing, the specs on it, it's 166 terahash at 3,000 watts. It's literally 10 of them. It is 10 of those with about less than 3 times the power. So it's just insane. It is so much more efficient, and it's blowing all the Goldshell stuff, all the IB Link stuff out of the water to the point where everything is going to tank. I think it's going to continue to tank, and because of how powerful these things are, I think right now with the current hash rate, if only 1,600 of these units come on from where it's at currently, it'll double the hash rate, meaning the coins will go down, the amount of your block reward is going to go down in half. So the big thing is that we just don't know how many are going to get released, right? So let's say they do that 1,600, then it's going to get halved. It's not too bad, but what if they release 4,000? What if they release 5,000? The other unknown is just how many are currently on the network. So we do know that some of them are on the network. There were some big mining farms that actually were able to get some. I'm sure they signed some kind of NDA to not disclose anything, but they have announced that some of them do have them. How many, though? We don't know. How many are planned to get released? We don't know. It's just a really big, huge unknown. Me, personally, I pre-ordered one. I was lucky I was able to get one through a third party. Whether or not they're actually going to fulfill it is another mystery, right? Because these things came out, the price was phenomenal. It's $5,300. It sold out. I think Bitmain announced that it was like 42 seconds, which is crazy, right? So obviously a lot of demand because of just how efficient it is. So immediately, already the next day, pre-orders on whatever was left over pretty much doubled, right? So they were like essentially 10,000. I've seen 12,000. I've seen as high as 15,000. And I'm sure as it gets closer, especially if the price does come up by the time it releases, it may go up. One big factor, though, is whether or not it'll actually release on time, right? A lot of people are predicting that most likely there will be a delay, right? Bitmain could be mining on them. They could hold off a little bit. It's just very reminiscent of what happened with that miner L7, with that Dogecoin miner, where we were promised a certain date, never came out, kept getting pushed. A lot of people are expecting this same thing to happen with this one. So again, this thing is ridiculous. So my personal opinion, any of these Goldshell miners, any of these IB links, if you're thinking about buying one, do not do it. It's just too much risk as far as like what's going to happen with, you know, that overall hash rate and the network difficulty. If they release a whole bunch of these, those things aren't going to be making anything. Me personally, I'm already in it. I already bought it. At this point, I'm going to go all the way through. I pre-ordered a KA3. Hopefully I do get it. By getting that, I could offset some of the losses, right? So otherwise, it's going to suck. At this point, I'm just taking it as an L. But if any of you guys are thinking about getting one, I would really, really recommend waiting until the KA3 comes out and we see what's actually going on with the hash rate, or if we see numbers as far as like how many are planned to come out. But I can definitely see that a lot of these are going to continue to drop even more, right? It's already down to 2,000, and that's prior to this thing even coming out. At this point, we're still like 3 months away from it actually hitting the network. So even though it's 2,000 right now, I could see it eventually going to this $1,100 range, possibly lower. The reason I'm guessing it'll stay at that $1,100 range is all these other lights down here, not as profitable. They've been pretty much in that range the entire time. So I think that's kind of like their bare minimum price. So fairly confident that's what it'll go into. All right, guys. So just wanted to give you a quick overview of my thoughts of it, what's going on with it. Again, if you're thinking about doing it, do not do it. But just wanted to give you guys a little information. If you guys found this informational, please like the video. Please subscribe. I'm going to start posting more content about what's going on. Probably eventually get into more news things, other reviews, what I'm looking at, what my current plans are, etc., etc. All right, guys. Thanks for watching.